Peace and blessings. How y'all doing today? It's me, Mike Can, aka Rogue Spiritual, and I'm gonna make this last post before I do my heart away and work on my comic. Listen, bro, nothing wrong with the Bible, nothing wrong with the spiritual wave, nothing wrong with occupying yourself in the gym, nothing wrong with staying busy. However, like all these things sometimes is a form of escapism, it's a defense mechanism because of what you are afraid to feel or go through when life hits you. First of all, I agree with the fact that video games save people's lives. Okay? If more people play video games, then there'll be less shootings from emotional people. Like fuck around, y'all should have fuck around and shot in the video games. There's nothing wrong with God. There's nothing wrong with the Bible. However, if you over here sheltering yourself with the Bible, the crystals, and the gym, how you're supposed to expect something new or to approach a new life, a new relationship, or a new friendship with a closed heart, let alone a closed mind. Sometimes, you know, sheltering yourself or putting up all these walls, especially, you know, you still acting hard after the age of 21, and at this point you know better because you should have broke out of that. It's sometimes like, bruh, you're putting up all these fucking walls and you're missing a fucking view. Like, people literally come from a mindset of, I know life, but I never approached it fully, which is why I respect half of my friends at the time, even right now, that's in the house with me. Half of the friends that I caught and half the friends in my space, I will always respect their experience because they have approached it with an open mind and or an open heart. While the other half, you know, they bring up something, you clap back, and then they fuck around and try to clap back on something that they haven't even lived, all because they fuck around and shelter themselves with the crystals, the gems, and all these things instead of approaching life itself with an open mind. Like, bro, I ain't gonna hold you. This ain't gonna be a short. Bro, I could tell you that I see my fair share of classmates, right? They were rising stars in the scholastic scene. They were street kids to the point that they was bowed to. However, after those 4 years of high school was up, them niggas ran straight to the fucking welfare instead of approaching life with an open mind and an open heart. Mind you, these half of these classmates of mine, if it wasn't half these toxic friends, they was the stars of the show. They was like academically excelling. There was these model thugs or whatever the case is. But after these 4 years of high school, bruh, you know, the first thing they did was ran straight to the welfare, if not their mommy and daddy's house, just to fuck around and decay out of fear. And then there was a couple of people from middle school, but very hardly so coming from my perspective. I literally only know one or maybe two from my middle school, like Israel Diaz. Didn't see him for over decades. And this nigga, like, never really had a job. Like, all he did was this little thing. He never had a job, never went to college. Well, I addressed it all, you know, to the point that God said, you don't need to go to college, but you do need a job. I'm sorry, bro. And yes, I name dropped. Sometimes people just sometimes in response to people running from life is the examples that I've mentioned, which is running straight to the welfare office right after the 4 years of high school, not giving the job a shot, like not approaching life with an open mind and an open heart to the point that they shelter themselves with the crystal and being under the Bible. And God is telling them, listen, you read my word enough. What you need to do is act. What you need to do is live. Life was meant to be lived, but how can you live life with a closed mind and or a closed heart, and you dare to step to the mic coming from a place that you didn't know because you was afraid to approach the same experience that I've experienced 5 years to 10 to 15 years back, but a closed mind or a closed heart, where 5, 10, or 15 years back, I've approached it with an open mind and an open heart. We are not the same. Thank you.